On the morning of August 31st, a traffic accident occurred on a highway in Wenzhou. A gray NIO car suddenly lost control and violently crashed into a parked white vehicle on the side of the road, sending it flying. It also smashed a tricycle into pieces, completely destroying it on the spot. The scene was a total mess. According to surveillance footage, the front of the NIO car was severely damaged, but the airbags did not deploy. The driver of the NIO claimed to have over 20 years of driving experience. As of now, the details of any injuries remain unclear. NIO has been involved in frequent accidents, each time drawing this major electric vehicle company into the spotlight. This year, NIO is also facing rumors of bankruptcy. The electric vehicle industry has seen many companies fail. Some believe that NIO might become one of them because, despite years of car production, the company has been losing money every year. Data shows that NIO's total revenue for 2023 was 55.6 billion yuan, but its net loss reached 21 billion yuan, an increase of 45% compared to the previous year. This is the first time since 2018, when NIO lost 23.3 billion yuan, that the company's losses have exceeded 20 billion yuan again. From 2016 to 2023, NIO's cumulative losses have reached a staggering 97.7 billion yuan. Such enormous losses are only rivaled by Evergrande Auto, which lost 104 billion between 2018 and the first half of 2023. Both Evergrande Auto and NIO have earned the unfortunate title of the kings of losses in the electric vehicle sector. Recently, rumors have been swirling on social media about NIO planning to lay off 20% to 30% of its workforce and potentially going bankrupt. On August 31st, NIO's legal department released a statement clarifying that recent rumors about bankruptcy are false. These rumors have been maliciously spread online and are considered illegal. The company has reported the matter to the police. The main reasons for NIO's continuous losses are the underperformance of its car sales and high investment costs. In the first half of this year, NIO delivered 870,000 new cars, a 60% increase from the previous year. However, considering NIO's target of delivering 230,000 cars this year, they have only achieved 38% of that goal in the first half. This means that to meet their target, they would need to deliver 23,000 cars each month in the second half of the year, which is clearly a challenging task. As things stand, it seems certain that the company will continue to incur losses in 2024. NIO appears to be trapped in a cycle where the more they sell, the more they lose. By the end of 2023, NIO had delivered nearly 500,000 cars in total, but they lose an average of 140,000 yuan for every car sold. Over the past few years, NIO has invested over 43 billion yuan in research and development. In 2023 alone, NIO's R&D expenses reached 13.4 billion yuan, a 24% increase from the previous year. At the same time, the company's operating expenses have also risen sharply, with sales and distribution costs reaching 12.88 billion yuan, a 22% increase year-on-year. Besides these challenges, the competition in the electric vehicle market is becoming increasingly fierce. For example, with the growing number of electric vehicle brands and models on the market, price competition has become more intense. Many companies are forced to lower prices to attract customers, which reduces profit margins. If they don't lower prices, sales may stagnate. NIO's journey in car manufacturing has been quite turbulent. In 2019, the company faced a life-or-death crisis with an extremely tight cash flow. At one point, the money in the company's account wasn't even enough to pay employees' salaries for the next month, and they had no idea where to get more funds. Rumors spread that NIO was just a step away from bankruptcy. NIO's chairman and CEO, William Li, was even labeled by the media as the unluckiest person of 2019. In 2020, just as NIO's cash flow was on the brink of collapse, the local government stepped in, injecting 7 billion yuan, which gave them a 24.1% stake in the company. A state-owned bank also led a group of lenders to grant NIO 10.4 billion yuan in credit. While government subsidies might help boost consumption in the short term, they could pose risks for the industry's long-term development. Now, 4 years later, NIO finds itself once again embroiled in rumors of bankruptcy. With continued losses and constant spending, NIO is under tremendous financial pressure. They've tried cutting costs and improving efficiency by laying off staff. In November last year, NIO's founder, William Li, sent out a company-wide email announcing that about 10% of positions would be cut, which sparked concern about the company's operational status. Shortly after, a long-term employee who claimed to have worked at NIO for 5.5 years shared a post on social media. He revealed that he spent 60,000 yuan to buy 2 NIO cars just to keep his job, but he was still laid off. He said he had elderly parents and young children to support, plus more than 10,000 yuan in monthly car loans, making his life feel hopeless. It wasn't just him. He claimed that around 80% of the employees had either been explicitly or implicitly told, if you don't buy NIO cars, your job might be at risk. The employee added that he had purchased 2 NIO ET5 cars and had even convinced many friends and relatives to buy dozens of NIO cars to secure his job. He joked that, as a tech worker, he was becoming a part-time salesperson, but in the end, he didn't get the promotion he was waiting for and ended up losing his job. He also complained that NIO's products had numerous quality issues, like noises from the sunroof, air conditioning, and central control systems. Even when employees, who were also car owners, experienced these problems, they couldn't get them fixed under warranty. This former employee's post sparked widespread discussion online. Many people commented with things like, "I never understood who was buying NIO cars before, but now I get it," and "Turns out NIO doesn't hire employees, they recruit customers." Others said, "It's bad enough to be fired for not buying a car, but buying 2 cars on loan and still getting laid off? No wonder the company's struggling." At the time, NIO's president, Qin Li Hong, had to personally step in and respond. He said, "NIO will not go bankrupt, and there's absolutely no chance of that happening. Please feel free to experience and purchase NIO cars." However, this response didn't seem to ease the public's concerns. As a luxury brand, NIO's car prices are quite high, even exceeding those of BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Audi. Yet, each car still incurs significant losses. This is largely because NIO burns through cash quickly. Their business scope is extensive. Besides manufacturing cars, NIO is also developing its own chips, with a research team of over 800 people. However, chip development is undoubtedly a costly endeavor. NIO is also getting into smartphones, positioning them as a car key or car remote. But it's easy to foresee that the sales of these phones might not be very promising. Aside from making phones and chips, NIO is also involved in projects like battery production and building battery swap stations. NIO is burning through money every second. This strategy of only expanding without cutting costs has inevitably led to massive losses. The competition in China's new energy vehicle market is fierce, and a price war that started last year has carried into this year. Many automakers have used low-price strategies to grab market share, leading to intense industry involution. This price war has also forced several automakers, including WM Motor, HiFi, and Hozon, out of the market. Last year, WM Motor, once considered one of the 4 little dragons in the new car-making movement, declared bankruptcy. Its nationwide sales and service centers closed one after another, leaving 110,000 car owners struggling with after-sale services. WM Motor used to be on par with NIO and XPeng, even ranking in the first tier of the new car-making forces. In 2018, WM Motor's deliveries ranked second in the industry. In 2019, it still held the top position among new car manufacturers, with sales sometimes matching or even surpassing NIO, XPeng, and Li Auto. In 2020, W Motor sold 22,400 vehicles, ranking 4th among new car manufacturers. However, starting in the second half of 2022, WM Motors was frequently reported to be cutting salaries, halting production, delaying rent payments for its headquarters, and seeing massive withdrawals from its dealers. In addition to its severe financial troubles, WM Motor also faced a management trust crisis. It's been reported that several high-ranking WM Motor executives were investigated and detained by authorities for suspected economic crimes, including contract fraud, loss of state-owned assets, and embezzlement, which involved multiple legal representatives of the company. Eventually, WM Motor filed for bankruptcy restructuring in 2023. The company's bankruptcy also harmed its users. WM Motors' collapse left car owners facing various problems, such as being unable to use the vehicle's dedicated app, malfunctions in the in-car system, lack of after-sales support, and even an inability to fulfill battery replacement agreements. All of this severely affected the rights of car owners. And another electric vehicle company, HiFi, announced on February 18th this year that it would suspend production for 6 months. Then, on August 9th, HiFi issued a statement that it had officially entered the pre-restructuring phase, which is a stage before formal bankruptcy to handle its debts. HiFi was once known as the most expensive domestic electric car among China's new car manufacturers. Among its 3 models, even the cheapest one started at nearly 340,000 yuan, and the most expensive went up to 800,000 yuan. Over the past 6 months, there have been multiple rumors about potential companies taking over HiFi, potentially China FAW, Chang'an Automobile, Avatar, or Lifan Technology. Industry insiders said that 5 to 10 companies had held in-depth talks with HiFi, but none of them succeeded in closing a deal. Recently, the topic of HiFi filing for bankruptcy sparked heated discussions. Liu Zhentao, the founder of Jingtong Shengshi Investment Company Limited, a fund manager and a financial blogger, posted, "This company made beautiful cars and was once in the first tier of new car manufacturers. Back then, it seemed to be a partner of Faraday's CEO Jia Yueting. Now it's the first to fall. Who will be next?" In addition to WM Motor and HiFi, Hozon Auto has also been reported to be struggling, leaving its car owners extremely disappointed. Mr. Zhang from Yunnan bought a high-end version of the Hozon Z03 last June with high expectations. However, in August of this year, his vehicle's in-car system suddenly malfunctioned, and it entered single-pedal mode, making it very difficult to drive. When Mr. Zhang contacted the sales representative, he found out that the person had already left the company. Desperate, he turned to the local 4S dealership, only to discover that it had closed down, and after-sales service was completely suspended. Mr. Zhang's experience is just the tip of the iceberg, as many other car owners are facing the same issues. What exactly is going on? Is Hozon Auto on the verge of bankruptcy? Hozon Auto was once a rising star in the new energy vehicle market. In 2018, it made a bold entrance with its slogan, "Tech Luxury," quickly grabbing public attention, and it seemed ready to compete with Tesla. However, this dark horse could not keep up the pace. In 2022, Hozon Auto's annual sales barely surpassed 10,000 vehicles, and in 2023, sales reached just over 10,000 again. Hozon Auto sales have consistently struggled. Currently, the company is experiencing frequent internal management issues. In April this year, an employee revealed online that the company only paid basic salaries that month, with performance bonuses nowhere to be seen. This even raised concerns among staff about whether they would receive their wages on time. From a regulatory perspective, Hozon's struggles might expose the oversight gaps in the fast-expanding new energy vehicle industry. In recent years, the market has developed rapidly, attracting many new companies. However, the intensified competition has also brought problems like uneven product quality and inadequate after-sales service. At the China Automotive Chongqing Forum in June this year, Geely Holding Group's chairman Li Shufu addressed the intense price wars in China's car market over the past 2 years, stating that the level of involution in China's auto industry is the highest in the world. Li Shufu warned that the healthy development of any industry must be reflected in a good return on investment, and the result of involution and price wars is cutting corners, selling fake or low-quality products, and engaging in disorderly competition. Li Shufu also reflected on China's rapidly developing electric vehicle industry. He pointed out that traditional internal combustion engines have gone through over 100 years of continuous improvements, and their safety technologies have been repeatedly tested in practice. Electric vehicles, however, have not yet gone through this stage and face many uncertainties. Issues such as range anxiety, the risk of spontaneous combustion, high voltage leakage, infrastructure challenges, rising insurance rates, and lower resale values all indicate areas where electric vehicles still have room for improvement compared to traditional cars. From the various difficulties faced by China's new energy vehicle companies, it's clear that a major shakeup is underway. There are simply too many car brands in China now. In contrast, no developed countries has this many brands. For instance, in the US, there are only a few major players like Ford, General Motors, Chrysler, and Tesla. In 2018, the Wall Street Journal reported that there were over 487 electric car manufacturers in China. However, by 2023, data showed that only around 40 new energy vehicle companies remained operational. That means more than 400 companies in this sector disappeared in just 5 years. According to data from the commercial research company Marklines, China currently has around 50 domestic electric vehicle brands, producing both pure electric vehicles and plug-in hybrids. The entire industry is expected to face harsh restructuring this year, with only a few brands likely to survive in the end. Huawei's executive director, Richard Yu, mentioned in a live stream that in the future, fewer than 5 key players in the Chinese new energy vehicle industry will survive. He emphasized that Huawei will be a major force in helping automakers stay afloat. XPeng CEO He Xiaopeng also shared his outlook, stating, "In terms of sales, the minimum survival threshold in China will likely be at least 3 million vehicles per year. In the next decade, there will only be about 8 mainstream automotive companies." Data from the global automotive industry consultancy Dun Insights indicates that foreign automakers manufacturing and selling in China have seen significant declines in sales in recent years. Furthermore, very few Chinese EV manufacturers are actually profitable. With enormous production capacity that cannot be fully absorbed domestically, exporting has become another pathway for the new energy vehicle industry. China's auto exports have grown nearly fourfold in just 3 years, reaching about 5 million vehicles in 2023. This rapid growth has raised concerns in the US and Europe. Western countries argue that China's subsidies to its automotive industry constitute unfair competition. They accuse China of dumping cheap products globally by leveraging cost advantages. In May of this year, the Biden administration raised tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles from 25% to 100%. The European Union also imposed a punitive tariff of 37.6% on Chinese electric vehicles starting in July. On August 26, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced at a cabinet meeting that China is creating an unfair advantage in the international market. As a result, Canada will impose a 100% tariff on Chinese-made electric vehicles, along with a 25% tariff on steel and aluminum. These new tariffs will take effect on October 1st this year. A Canadian government official revealed that the new regulation applies to all electric vehicles shipped from China, including those manufactured by Tesla. Many experts in China are feeling hopeless about the current trade relations between China and the United States and Europe. Fan Jiazhong, an economics professor at National Taiwan University, recently commented to overseas media, "It's hard for the outside world to understand why the CCP is pursuing this kind of subsidy and low-price dumping strategy, which hurts others without benefiting itself. This approach is likely to worsen China's trade relations with other countries, leading to many trade barriers. If the US and Europe take retaliatory measures, China will, as usual, retaliate in return, creating a vicious cycle. This cycle will only worsen China's already struggling economy."